Welcome back. A very unexpected moment there, a Senate president in the dock. Now, this has become a major talking point in the country. Let's start with reactions in the National Assembly.
Reactions have trailed the trial of Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki, who finally appeared before the Code of Conduct Tribunal after days of being summoned. Immediately he left the court, the Senate President, in a press release, said, "My appearance in court today once again demonstrates my belief in the rule of law and respect for the judiciary of our country." He repeated what he said in court, that the only reason I am going through this trial is because I am Senate President. This belief, he says, stems from the fact that sections 3D of the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act provide that if there is a breach or non-compliance with any section of the law, the person involved should be given the opportunity to either admit or deny, and that in the case of a written admission, no reference to the tribunal should be necessary. So if the CCB had followed the guidelines, procedure, or due process provided in its own law, we wouldn't be having this trial. He says this case is a vivid example that there is still flagrant disregard for due process in our polity. This trial is not only being observed by Nigerians alone, the international community is watching because Nigeria is a key member of this community. So the executive, legislature, and judiciary should do the right thing that will truly demonstrate that we have imbibed the spirit of positive change. Lawmakers have also been reacting. Here are a few of their positions.
I was one of those that have consistently cautioned people from interfering in the affairs of the legislature. And I'm going to put it this way. Nobody who loves the president of a country sincerely will want to tamper with the independence and integrity of the parliament on behalf of the president. Nobody. If he genuinely and sincerely loves Mr. President. And I think it is high time that those who erroneously believe that they can fight on behalf of the president to understand that the president is strong enough, constitutionally powerful enough to fight for himself. And where he has not come out clearly to do so, please, all those he appointed should be courteous enough to toe his part. All those who love Mr. President should equally be cautious enough to toe his part. And what is his part? For everybody and for no one. And ready to work with everyone.
It is easy for one to begin to deduce that truly there is a lot that is happening below that is not seen. There is a hand that is actually directing activities. Certainly those who want to actually, insult the institution of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I want to tell you that they are not different from the people who actually tried to scuttle the inauguration of the Senate in June. Because if you recall, on that fateful day when the president of the country had given a proclamation and the clerk of the National Assembly was supposed to convene and constitute the Senate of the Federal Republic, some people said they should close the gates and all the entry points into the Senate. I think it's not just for the Senate to understand what is going on. The country ought to understand that this is a great threat to democracy. The president of the Senate, chairman of the National Assembly, is being traumatized for nothing. And I think APC had better put its acts together. Because if APC does not, they're only giving room for Nigerians to continue to regret and deepen the disgust that is already very, very palpable within the polity, within the economy, that APC as a party was not prepared and still not prepared to govern this country.
You can imagine what we passed through before we elect our leaders. The influence of the executive on how to elect our leaders take us like 1 month before they can be settled. After the emergence of the leaders, some quarters of the executives have not been happy about it. They are still cooking a lot of ways to distract the attention and our focus. So they should please, for God's sake, leave this arm alone. If really you want the democracy to survive in this nation.
Even people that are opposed to the emergence of these leaders are getting tired of the external influence because they have a name to write. The time is different. On this thing, you are accountable to Nigerians. On the social media alone, talk less of you that understand the processes. So if you continue to involve yourself in bickering outside, I want to go to court to challenge this in it. I want to do. People will be looking at you. Is this what we send you to do? While I'm working with the leadership, I'm working with my colleagues. Soon, everybody will start to ask you questions.
Now to your own reactions. First, we take a tweet from Sadiq Abakar on the 100 days of the 8th Assembly. He says, there is nothing to write about the 100 days of the 8th Parliament. The 8th Assembly has not matched previous assemblies. But more reactions followed the Senate President's trial with tweets, Facebook messages, and even reactions on the streets. On Facebook, Dan Baju says, who is persecuting him? So much impunity in this country. Can they try this? Can they try what they are doing here? Can they do it in China? Raji Adekunle also says, is he not the same Saraki that was campaigning with the slogan, change, when he was seeking for our votes? Now the change has arrived, he's trying to avoid it. No way. On Twitter, Ibzamani says, all we hope for is justice to prevail. If the man is innocent, then it should be proven. If he is not, it should be proven as well. Okpomulero Suleiman says, I totally agree with the fact that he is being victimized. If not, why has the president refused to send the names of appointees to the Senate, claiming they are all in acting capacity? Please, acting for how many months? Reggie Orafa believes even if he is being prosecuted, is he innocent of the charges against him? Ayo Olorunshola agrees that maybe he's being victimized for disobedience and betrayals to his party. Nonetheless, he should prove himself in court. And Ojo Andy has our last tweet. He says, Saraki is being prosecuted not because he is the Senate president, but as number 3 man. We must know what he has and how he got them. Now, for some of your reactions from the streets of Abuja.
If you have committed an offense, no matter the number of years, it can be tried. But why now? That is the question. 2003, this man went to the Senate. Nobody said anything. Even his wife, nobody said anything. Why now that he is a Senate president? Maybe because he fell out with the powers that be. That's why I said it's a class struggle. But my advice to Nigerian politicians is they shouldn't use political vendetta to ride on the interests of Nigerians.
Well, I would say that this is the first time where we would see a political official being brought to come and account for his past deeds. And also, it's important to note that we should not play with our judicial system. We should not try to bring politics into this. For me as a citizen, I see other burning issues, like the insurgents in the northeastern part of the country. I see other burning issues where over 10 million children are out of schools. But again, we need, as an ordinary Nigerian, the judiciary is our last hope. I want to see transparent process. I want to see an accountable process. And I don't want to see a process where politics is the order of the day, rather the rule of law.
Now, this issue throws up interesting possibilities. What will be the fate of Senate President Bukola Saraki? How will this affect the relationship between the parliament and the executive? And what does this mean for the country, for you and for me? Interesting questions there that will be answered in the days ahead on this program, where we make sure you know what is happening in the National Assembly. But this is where we adjourn for the day. I am Lanre Lasese. Thanks for being there.